50 years ago, these two teams met in what would be dubbed the first ever Super Bowl. Back then, Bart Starr was in charge of being the quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. And they were in everything was in grainy black and white film. 58 years later, with the advent of 4K television and VR headsets, we have a new generation of quarterbacks in charge for the Packers and Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes from Texas Tech, he's become the NFL's hottest quarterback. And Aaron Rodgers for the Green Bay Packers. Back then, Ulysses S. Grant was the president. With the undefeated Cincinnati Red Stockings, today, a new generation is playing in this game. Packers, Chiefs, coming up next. The wind is going to be a factor this afternoon. Packers came off of their big win last Monday night, which actually helped them take the lead in the AFC West after Green Bay beat the Broncos on Sunday night in Denver. 15-10 in a very tight defensive game in the rain. Packers win today at Arrowhead. They will sweep the AFC West in this tournament, which they haven't done since the 2007 campaign. Here you see the Chiefs and the Packers getting out of the tunnel as we get set for today's game. Trevor Davis back deep to return. It's going to be a fun game this afternoon, I have a feeling, between two quarterbacks with amazing arms, two lightning quick receivers. Something's going to have to give. Davis to return to the 37. Wow, definitely a fast return there. So, while that goes on, the wind is definitely going to be a big issue this afternoon, especially with kicking the ball, kicking today, or attempting to run, which means you're going to see quite a bit of passes. But with the wind, as you saw in that kickoff, the ball is going to go wherever it goes. Aaron Rodgers will start from 37 today. There's a flag already. That's going to set him back 5 yards. First and 15 after, looks like it was Aaron Jones that jumped. Definitely going to be an issue today with how rambunctious this crowd is. Rodgers drops back, runs. Looks like he's going to throw incomplete. As we take a look at the Packers O-line today, we will be highlighting Aaron Jones, who had himself quite the day last week in Denver on Sunday night.
So they'll come up after the incompletion.
So second down and 15. Rodgers the handoff to Jones, and that's a gain of about 3 on the play. As we take a look at the Chiefs' defense, we'll be highlighting D Ford, who great linebacker, but unfortunately, if he hadn't gotten that offsides call in the 2018 AFC Championship game, we'd be talking about the Chiefs going back-to-back Super Bowls.
A real danger here on their opening drive as they come up on the 3rd and 12.
Rodgers throws across the middle, and that is complete at the 42 for a gain of 23. Who else but Davante Adams?
He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass. And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot.
Always nice to have a
so now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory.
Always nice to have a reliable target that's you've been with and you have a good chemistry with, like Davante Adams. Davante Adams, he's been around. He's always him and Randall Cobb for the longest time. Obviously, compounding with when Jordy Nelson was on the Packers, those three used to be fairly reliable safety nets for Aaron Rodgers. But with Randall Cobb going to the Cowboys and Jordy Nelson going to Oakland, you're losing 2 safety nets. So Aaron Rodgers has to find a way and adapt.
Especially the little guys that we're watching here are just really fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed.
3rd down and 1 after a rough start to the game for Rodgers and the Packers on their drive. 3rd down and 1. Rodgers up the middle for the first down.
If you make the stop there, maybe you hold them to 3 on this opening drive. They didn't get the stop. Yeah, these set of downs now. Now you're worried about, just as you pointed out, not just giving up 3, possibly giving up 6. Let's see what they decide to do here because they're going to change up what they have been doing. It hasn't been working. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
1st and 10 at the 31. Rodgers steps back, fires, almost picked off. Look at that. Incomplete. That was Nelson that probably was 2 or 3 steps ahead of Adams. That definitely should have been picked.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. No run now.
as Rodgers goes to Aaron Jones, who gets stuffed by D Ford off the edge.
Coming up on play number 8 of this opening drive, but they're looking at a 3rd and long.
Rodgers throws. He's going to fire, and it's caught over the back. It was Valdez Scansing. Slowly been worked into the Green Bay offense over the past couple weeks. Unfortunately, in Pittsburgh, he had Brett Hundley. Well, in the Pittsburgh game, he had Brett Hundley as his quarterback. And Rodgers was knocked out after the Cleveland game. Rodgers spins, throws his back. Gain of about 2 on the play. They're working Eric Jones in pretty early. Or Aaron Jones, I'm sorry. Second and 8 is the Packers went methodically working into the end zone, kind of similar to how they played last week in Denver. Rodgers, handoff to Jamal Williams. Gain of 3 yards on the play. Historically, when it comes to this particular matchup, going back to, you want to go back to 1999 when these two teams really began to meet more consistently. Obviously, 2011, they were going. The Packers were going for 16-0 back in 2011. However, when these two teams met in a December game in Arrowhead, Kyle Orton definitely had other plans. So if we go back to approximately 1999, go back all the way back to 1999. Between these two teams, they played pretty tough. I will give them that. Very a lot of notable games between in this matchup. Last 2 times they met in real life, they played it close with a 31-24 victory Sunday night against Matt Moore and the Chiefs last year. 38-28 win over Alex Smith in 2015 on Monday night, and the aforementioned game in 2011. And then, obviously, 2007, they played it close. However, Green Bay was able to come back with a pretty big comeback, and the 34-40 overtime victory for Green Bay in overtime at Lambeau Field. Anyways, on the fade route, the Packers just scored a touchdown with Randall Cobb going for it in the air. I think they a little poster. That was a poster dunk by the looks of it. As Mason Crosby gets ready for the kick. And it's good.
So that was a 13-play drive in total, and the result, a Green Bay score.
as Green Bay goes 7-0. So get ready for the kickoff, and we will be seeing Patrick Mahomes on the field very shortly as it flies to the end zone for a touchback.
So here come the Chiefs for their opening drive. Leading this unit will be the big arm man out of Texas Tech. 10th pick of the 2017 draft.
As Patrick Mahomes leading himself out onto the field last week, Monday night against the Dallas Cowboys. Couple pretty big touchdowns for the kid. Against the Cowboys weak secondary with the big arm. Green Bay better hold tight because Pat Mahomes will sling it, and he will slice up the secondary if he needs to. Full house formation. Mahomes throws, screen pass. There's a flag on the play, and looks like it was might be on Blake Martinez. It was Eric Fish. No, it was Eric Fisher. That was called for.
So following the hold, there's a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Shotgun snap to Mahomes.
So Chris Conley will get Green Bay the first down, get Kansas the first down. And it looks like they're gonna let the clock run unless they squeeze another play out. That'll be it for first quarter. Throws as he was hit, so he had to throw to the ground. So first quarter is ended today here in Kansas as Rodgers and the Packers are up by 7. You're watching the NFL on CBS. The NFL on CBS is brought to you by Snickers. You're not you where you're hungry. Snickers satisfies. So we're back here to start the second quarter. Remember what happened last time? Last week when it was a 3rd down and 10. It was turned into one of 2 deep balls for the Chiefs. Mahomes drops back, throws, and it is batted down incomplete. Looks like it was Travis Kelce that might have been the intended receiver. One of the tight ends is Blake Martinez was there on the stop.
Like that, they might just get a few. Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches. On 4th down on his Dustin Quick to kick this away. Trevor Davis deep for Green Bay. This is taken at the 18. A good return there, 17 yards. And it'll be Packer football here, 1st down and 10. The Packer offense now ready to get back on the field. They'll be looking to make this a 2-score advantage. Had a touchdown on the first drive, Charles. And then get up 2 scores here on the road. That's a heck of a start. And not only have they thought about it, I wonder if they visualized it. I remember playing and they used to turn the lights out in our meeting room and run through a situation like this and say, just think about what it would be like to be up on the road and take the crowd out of it. Maybe they did some of that. Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the pack up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. Throwing now is Rodgers. That's complete to his tight end. This is Lance Kendricks. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a 1st down. I like how they broke the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit. And that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage. Rodgers now 7 of 10 here in this first half, and he's got a 1st and 10. Here's the Jones. He is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. He has elite instincts on his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run. It flies in like a missile. Stop down and mark the line of scrimmage. On 2nd down is Jones. They take it across midfield and just shy of the 40. Give him 12 yards on that one and earns him a fresh shut it down. Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just cash him, but they blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. And if he gets back to the line, he better be giving him a whole lot of credit, thanking him for that much space to run for. After the run by Jones, here's 1st and 10. Now 1st down carry by Jones. He'll fight forward for a couple down inside the 40. I can't help it. Every time I see Evan Berry make the play, as we just saw him make a tackle there, I just want to stand up and applaud. Because he went to Tennessee like you? Well, that doesn't hurt one bit, but how about the comeback? I mean, he came back from beating cancer and getting back to Pro Bowl level, one of the best players in the game. On the counter, here's Jones. Looking to find the lane, but he can't wind it at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up in a 3rd and 9 situation. I know the speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is to have your linebackers set the edge. The Packers on 3rd down, a perfect 4 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. From the gun, it's Rodgers. He's giving his try, it's Cobb. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. He had the touchdown on the opening drive, now he's got a 1st down. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen. No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because they'll have all that time to find someone open downfield who's only covered for so long. So maybe they want to go to his own blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out. They ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try to get more pressure on the answer. And he'll keep it moving down the 15-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid game. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters a normal spacing and run fits, and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to Arrowhead after this. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. It's going to set up a 3rd down and 2. That call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passive formation, showing a shotgun, and they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game. Rodgers looking to throw on 3rd and 2. It is incomplete. That's a good job there defensively. They did allow him to drive all the way downfield, but once he got back to the goal line, they're going to turn up the pressure. Yeah, they let him get all the way down here to the field strengths. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up 4th. Oh, look at this. A flip to the kicker. He's going to try to run for it. Unfortunately, wind up out of bounds. They only got a couple, and a couple is all that they needed as they convert on 4th. Rodgers now on 1st down. That's complete right around the end. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. 7 yards. If they got one pitch and catch. They throw a good catch, but they're like the drag of being able to run away from defenders. How hard is it for them for that one? Get better against man and zone, or better against man because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone. Now before the 2nd down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout. As a stopper with just over a minute to go before halftime. And we are back here. I'm ready to go alongside Charles Davis. So the offense takes a timeout, and now we're set to get going. No, not at all, because if they don't, they almost either go and imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the 2nd half. Now Crosby for the point after. Crosby connects on the extra point, and that'll make the score 14-0. So that drive, 12 plays in length, and it ends with a Packers touchdown. Crosby on now to kick it away. This will be taken short. And there's Coach's drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. And Chiefs now getting set to go. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They didn't have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into that script. I think they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything, at least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Line of scrimmage to 31 now on 1st and 10. On 1st down, Mahomes. That one caught by Tyreek Hill. That will everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. As the clock shows 15 seconds to play here in half number 1. So the offense took the timeout. Looks like they're ready to go as we get set to resume the action. Able to get 7 on that 1st down pass play. 2nd and 3. Throwing down is Mahomes. And it's the block by Travis Kelce. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. As they'll start with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. So the offensive unit called the TO, and now we are ready to resume play. So now the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, here's Mahomes. Diving catch. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
And did you ever look at that yards and jump one of those like mats or pins like you have for high jumpers? And you know you had your friend throw the ball, you tried to make spectacular catches. You just did it with the ground.
Absolutely.
That's Fletcher Tucker. That's Fletcher Tucker's right there. Because I think that guy was raised just like you. What a catch.
1st down now with that clock rolling. Throwing on 1st down is Mahomes. Incomplete as the clock will stop with 15 seconds remaining. Travis Kelce, the Pro Bowl tight end, the intended target, and it's 2nd down. After the incomplete pass here now is 2nd and 10. Now it's Mahomes again. This will clock about the 6. Now a timeout signal for him. They'll get him with 10 seconds to go before halftime. And we're back. The offense had a chance to talk things over, and they'll see what they come up with here on this next play. The last play on the completion got them half of what they needed. Now here's a tough 3rd and 5. Mahomes to throw once more. This is Watkins. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. They get only 4 that time as that leaves us to a 4th down. So we've come to halftime here with the visiting Packers out on top. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Halftime today between these two teams as It's been all Green Bay. And let's see what Mahomes can do as the comeback kid. He had an interesting run last week against, or a couple weeks ago against the Saints when he was in a similar situation.
Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. It's a short kick taken to the 15. Now they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Here comes the Chiefs offensive unit as they'll have it to begin quarter number 3. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think that they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they felt they had something going, but they just need to do a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. Where takes the gift from Mahomes? Solid move, he's corralled just beyond the 40. A solid run on first down, gain of 7, leaves him with a second and 3.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. What I mean by that is, possess the ball for a little while, get at least 2 first downs, give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Now Mahomes on the bootleg. Out to the flat, that's complete to his running back. No gain on that one, it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
When a linebacker is able to sit at the second level and see things develop in front of him, as soon as he got a hit and the quarterback was checking it down, he's made a beeline directly from the receiver and ended up making the play.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams. Calling no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down.
Another down on the scoreboard, but the urge to go for it is almost irresistible here on 4th and short. Yeah, I know they're on their own side of the
I
field.
was going to say.
Normally I would say put the ball away, but I'm feeling it. I say go for it.
Here's Dustin Colquitt now. As he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. So here are the Packers now. They get set for their first possession of half number 2. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, but you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, it's here right down the break after that.
They'll try and get the running game going with Jones. And he'll get this up to the 30 to start the drive out by a few inches. That'll be a first down.
At this stage of the game, the run pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of the yardage is up through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And they'll scratch out only about a yard after the 42.
They try to quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because when they're open, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Again, Mr. Jones. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now.
Third quarter, you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but running game can really benefit your team right now.
The Packers on 3rd down. They have been superb. 5 for 6 to this point. This time it's 3rd and 3. They'll run it now. Out of the gun. And a good swing of the football defensively as they get it down at about the 40. 3 yards won't be enough here as they'll bring up 4th down.
From this vantage point, they've got the lead here. So for me, that'd be enough to punt the football to my defense to defend the long field.
If you go for it, you don't get it, then you really put your defense in a tight spot.
Yeah, but we never know what people ultimately will decide to do beyond 4 inches.
Here's J.K. Scott now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd. And a fair catch is taken here a step or two inside the 45-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And it's Chiefs football, 1st and 10. And now here comes Kansas City. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
The Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own. Play action. Now it's Mahomes. And incomplete.
Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude, but I think it's safe to say that pressure can get to any quarterback.
And he's obviously a great franchise quarterback, but felt the pressure, threw it incomplete. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. To throw, it's Mahomes. And the Packers give it nowhere to go, and they bring it down. Clay Matthews in there a second for a loss of 6. Well, it was 2nd long, now it's 3rd and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
They're moving exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
Gonna need better protection here. 3rd and long following the sack from Mahomes and company. Mahomes gonna throw. Looking sideline, that's caught by Watkins. They get 15, but they still need it a little bit more. 4th down.
Well, they have a lot of real estate to make up there, but what a big-time play for them. Nice completion, excellent game. Now they're 4th and manageable.
Just a little short, though, with that marker. And the punter's on the sideline. Here's the field goal unit now to try an exceptionally long one. 64 was Matt Prater's record. This would top that by a yard. And that is no good. score will stay right where it is. Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, they'd be disappointed with that effort. Now trotting out there, the Packers getting ready to go. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now. They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to give a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone. They go play action here on first down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. A good pickup there on 20 yards. But when you hit it on the move like that, he's able to get an open field with a full head of steam. Oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down. And there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. Rodgers now 11 and 15 through the air. Here's first and 10. This is Jones. And not much of a roller. He gets it down to about the 24-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. So they have that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short game. What makes a good run blitz? A good run blitz. The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else. As they come to the line, but will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. We're back now in KC. It's Packer football here as they've got the lead as well to begin the fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter, and I think the headlines tomorrow very well could read, Rodgers shuts out the Chiefs, 21-0, or 14-0 right now. I feel, and that's what the newspapers tomorrow are going to read.
Second down, here's Rodgers. Over here's Allison, that's complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Rodgers to Allison, good for a Green Bay first down. I mean, nice pick up through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in the situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things they consider safe. Here's Jones. And they're going to get him down, but not before a pretty good run right there. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to take it down. Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Did you have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge. They'll go again to Jones. And that will blow up quickly. And he's going to be stopped before he can even get started. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. Right, this corner running situation, when you're up in the fourth quarter, they're going to stop the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball. Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort. Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down. The Packers Packers on third down. They've been very good, 5 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. One man in the backfield, that's Jones. That was caught by Cobb. And it's a Packer touchdown. Randall Cobb, the second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Packers add 6 to their lead. And they're still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is it bad blood going into this one ahead of time? And maybe they're seeking some revenge, or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
Extra point try now for Crosby. Crosby with the extra point, and it's now 21-0. A drive that time of 6 plays, and the result, a Green Bay score. Crosby on now to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Chiefs offense now making their way back onto the field. And the last go around for them, they tried that really, really long field goal, couldn't connect.
And in retrospect, I think a lot of people would say, well, why would you try one that long? You hurt yourself in field position, the ball comes out, there. And that only helps the other team. But I look at it as maybe it's a double shot of confidence. Confident the kicker could make it. And even if he missed, confident in their defense that they can hold him.
Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They begin the drive with Williams. And he brought this awkwardly here. A late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming.
And I was enjoying the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Excellent field position after the face mask penalty. 1st and 10 out near midfield. Now Mahomes. Looking sideline, incomplete. He was looking for Tyreek Hill that time. And that'll bring up 2nd down. Another wayward pass. Things started out poorly in this game. And to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Here's Mahomes to throw. Triple center of the field, but it's incomplete. His favorite target, Travis Kelce, the intended receiver. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down.
Let's face it, perfection is something we all chase, whether it's playing this game or whatever we do. Hard to attain, but that's what they were searching for, as that pass goes incomplete.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Now here's Mahomes. It's incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, as it turned out. Couldn't even find his outlet man because the coverage is way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down. Now Mahomes got to have this one. To the right side, it's Kelsey. And unable to break away, they stop him a few yards shy. Andy Reid went for it, but it won't pan out. And that will force a turnover on downs. Being just short of midfield, they decide to take a crack at it on 4th down. They don't come through.
Sometimes it's just showing confidence in your defense. You know that they're good and they'll take care of you. A lot of coaches during the week will announce to their team, we're going to be aggressive, guys. We're going to go for it. Hey, defense, you got me? A little bit of a challenge to them to see if they'll pick up the rest of the team.
We'll see how they respond now. Rodgers will bring the pack up with a 1st and 10 at their own 46. They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. And find his way forward to about the 48-yard line. The linebacker Anthony Hitchens there on the stop. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage. Use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind that it'll also stop the clock with a 2-minute warning. And nowhere really to go there. They'll take this up just shy of midfield. Only a yard of the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep flowing forward. And they want to hold us and the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
The Packers on 3rd down. They hit on 6 of their 8 tries. Very good. This is 3rd and 7. Throwing is Rodgers. It's caught outright by Brown. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
Whether you play a West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you either throw on a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They get the 1st down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the 2nd half. And Crosby puts it through, and that stretches this lead even further. It's now 24-0. So it's not an NFL record, but it's not far off. That'll go in the books as a 61-yard field goal.
And wasn't it weird to see a guy line up for a field goal on the other side of midfield? The ball got halfway there, and you thought, no way is that going to make it, but it just kept carrying, and he winds up sneaking it right over the bar.
After the made field goal, now Crosby will do the kickoff duties. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Kansas City offense now as they get set to take over. Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Working from the gun, Mahomes. Flushed out right. And it'll be brought down. That's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. Personal foul. Face mask. Defense. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
You're right. They took it out of their hands, having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard, inadvertent or not. Now it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
So the face mask puts them in even better shape than they were in, as they'll have a short field here on 1st and 10. Looking to throw, it's Mahomes. The tight end Kelsey has it over the middle. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. Give him 13 yards there in a Kansas City first down. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So the Chiefs in possession of the ball as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. Mahomes now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Shotgun snap to Mahomes. He's going to let it fly. So they took a shot on 1st down, but couldn't connect.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They got the lead 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up 2nd and 10. Back to the air on 2nd down. It's Mahomes. They'll set up the screen. This is Williams. And after moving a nice game, then dropped to the 25-yard line. Give him 6 on the screen, but now it's 3rd down. And again, it's Mahomes. That's going to be caught. And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown. Travis Kelsey, 25 yards for the touchdown. And the Chiefs are able to draw a bit closer.
Well, the Chiefs finally took them a few quarters, but the Chiefs finally scored.
You're going to slow clap on me.
Not very nice, is it?
No, but they haven't been very nice on offense. It's been a struggle. Now Mahomes to the line. As
Now
the Chiefs
Mahomes will go for 2 here. Throws, fade route. That's 2.
That's for sure, but that makes it a 2-score game.
And now we see why teams practice so much of the 2-point conversion when you have more than one play ready, because you may need multiples to start a ball game. There's a great example right there.
We got a little over 90 seconds to do that, though, so
Now would be the time to be conservative if you're Andy Reid.
Two scores down, 3 timeouts left. Still a chance if they can somehow get this one back. And this one's going to be covered up by the Packers hands team. But for a second there, I had flashbacks to a few years ago, the NFC Championship game for the Packers, but here they're able to hold on.
And many things changed in Green Bay after that game. Personnel, people coaching, the whole deal. And in this case, they get it done. No fail like they had in Seattle.
The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that. And they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see Jones. The second waiver tackler is going to get him as they start it behind the line. Now here's a defensive timeout called by the Chiefs. As again, with just under 90 seconds remaining. Following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Again, it's Jones. And he's going to be met about the 43. And Chiefs are going to signal for and be granted another timeout. As they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. The Packers on 3rd down. 6 conversions and 9 tries. They've done a great job of picking these up. This is going to be 3rd and 13. Rodgers gives this to Jamal Williams. And some good tackling here as he stepped up at about the 41. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. As again, it's still a minute 20 left to go in the game. So defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. On now is Mason Crosby, who's hit from as far as 58 in his career. This to make it a 3-score game late. And that is no good. He gave it a good run. That wasn't more than a foot or so wide to the left. And this score will stay right where it is. So it's an empty possession, and as a kicker, not the way you want to start your day's work.
And now each team's missed a field goal here so far, Brandon. So apparently, neither guy is immune.
And now here comes Kansas City. And they're looking to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got to the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go up and look at the tablet, see what you did on the last drive. When you score points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
The Chiefs in good position to start out as they come on 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Mahomes.
Mahomes could pull this. If Mahomes can pull this off, minute 9 left, 2 touchdowns, 1 play after Mason Crosby misses a field goal. Took him long enough, but we might get it. Ourselves a good one. Mahomes going for 2. However, Green Bay has 3 timeouts. Kansas does not. Mahomes. Oh! So much for the 2-point conversion.
Muhammad Wilkerson just killed Damian Williams.
The attempt was to try and make it a 1-score game, right? Touchdown, get 2, and now you've tied it up. Instead, they don't get it. Still down 10.
So 2 scores down. Time definitely not an ally, but here comes the onside kick. And this one's going to be covered up by the Packers hands team. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew,
So, what definitely was a Green Bay show,
their chances of getting that
had, and with Kansas trying to come back,
just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to
unfortunately, I think Green Bay is going to walk away with another win, and they will sweep the Broncos and Chiefs for the first time since the 2007 campaign.
It does, but it doesn't mean now you go out and run option or some kind of wild double reverse or anything like that. But you do know that if anything does go haywire, you're still in control of this game.
I want a double reverse, don't you?
I'm just waiting for that day where we actually see something like that in this situation.
We'll see what happens here. The Packers looking to get out of here with a win.
So-
They take the lead.
Next week, well, in a couple weeks, when we come back for week 7, the Kansas City Chiefs will be at home against the Cardinals, and Green Bay will be going to Houston next week in the 2:30 p.m. game on Fox.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude.
As we preview the next couple weeks in terms of games, tonight on NBC you'll get about the Texas Bowl between the Houston Texans and Dallas Cowboys from AT&T Stadium. Coverage begins at 7:30 p.m. Eastern with Football Night in America, and then at 8:30 p.m. will be the kickoff presented by Amazon Alexa. Then on Monday Night Football from on ABC from Lucas Oil Stadium, you'll have the Washington Redskins take on the Indianapolis Colts. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. on ESPN, then moves over to 8 p.m. on ABC. Monday Night Countdown, and then at 9 o'clock will be the kickoff presented by Amazon. Final score today from the Green Bay Packers show in Green Bay Packers show in Kansas. Packers pull away with a 24-14 win.
And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. With that, we say so long from Kansas City.
Let's hit the post-game tailgates and grab some
And BBQ.
Barbecue is fairly big down here. We'll see you next time. If you want more primetime football. If you want more primetime football, tune in tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern for Football Night in America. And then kick off at 8:30 between the Texans and Cowboys. Let's go to the studio for a quick update.